In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the pre-sale options that you see on many of the bullion sites, both the pros and the cons, so please stay tuned.
Stacking Cat.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the Stacking Kat channel, and thank you all for watching. If you're new here and would like to see videos about silver with a little bit of gold, then please subscribe, and if you enjoy what you see, then smash that like button and share this video. Okay, so I'm going to get into something that I know a lot of us see all the time when we are on the online bullion sites, and that is the pre-sale option. They all do it. You see it all over eBay as well. And for the most part, you're going to see it in the new releases, whether it is the new MapleLeaf or American Silver Eagle that comes out, or if it's more of a collectible coin like your Queen Anne's Revenge or the rest of the Black Flag series, the Royal Fortune there. And so I'm going to go over what I think are some pros and cons, the advantages and the disadvantages of using this option. And I'm going to start off with something that is just part of life that we're all familiar with, and that is FOMO, the fear of missing out. Like I said, that is all a part of life. We all experience it in some way. And with precious metals, it is no different. When we see something like this mythosaur come up, for example, 25,000 available, Amex exclusive. If I don't get it, then that's it. I've missed out. I'm not going to be a part of it. I'm going to have to buy it on the secondary market for double its value. And that's just not always the case, though, because a lot of times when you do run into these pre-sales, you will find examples where they're still there by their expected shipping date. So APMEX, SD Bullion, JM Bullion, Provident Metals, Bold Precious Metals, Monument Metals, a lot of eBay sites. I could just name them for the next minute probably. And they all do pre-sales and they all have expected shipping dates. So when you do go and place an order, you will find that date. So it might be a month ahead of time. It could be a week. You never know. But a lot of times, unless something is just like really spectacular, like I just mentioned, like this Black Flag, here's the Royal Fortune, which was the second release, or if it's the Queen Anne's Revenge, which was the first release, when these go on pre-sale, they are out of stock really quick. There's nothing you can do about it. If you don't get into it within the first couple of days, maybe even less than that, it's going to be out of stock, and you're going to have to find it on the secondary market. But things like the Mythosaur and some of these other ones, that's just not the case. They will always be there. We really saw this, a big case of FOMO happen with these 2020 American Silver Eagles when we had the crunch on silver, when the supply was really low and the demand was through the roof. The U.S. Mint, they ran out of 2020s. Now, the mint was closed for a little while for obvious reasons. We all remember back during this time, or at least those of us who were stacking at the time, and these 2020 Eagles became a hot commodity. It was, a lot of talk, a lot of speculation that they were going to have a low mintage of them, and that didn't necessarily take place. After it's all said and done, the 2020s are probably going to be right on par with the average of a lot of the mintages going back to around 2014 when the U.S. Mint really ramped up production of their American Silver Eagles. We were paying double premium prices when spot price was maybe 14. They were selling for 28. And if you found one, you would do it. And even if it was on pre-sale with, in that case, with no expected shipping date, it was just basically to reserve some, hoping that they would get there someday. And it turned out not to be a thing. It was just a case of FOMO. I know there is a lot of craziness going on. There's still a lot of craziness going on. Let's be honest with you. When it comes to precious metals, especially with the spot price, I'm filming this on a Friday, January 8th, and it dropped a couple dollars today, but that's for another video. But it's just not worth it sometimes to buy out of emotion, especially when you're buying something that is monetary, that is an investment, or a savings, however you're doing it. You don't want to get caught paying too much for something. And that will lead me into my second point, and that is your money is tied up with these pre-sales. Like I said, a lot of times with some really hot items, you want to get them before they're gone, but that's just not always the case. Another example of that is this Fafner. Remember this one? Came out over the summer by the Germania Mint. It was a really cool design, by the way, how they have it set up. You could buy the 2 capsule, I guess it goes like this, the 2 capsule setup where the dragon completes itself, if you look at it from both sides. The only problem was the Germania Mint was having shipping issues due to just the entire shipping mechanism across the globe. The entire structure and landscape was on hold. There were a lot of delays. And so I ordered that one and I mixed it with a few other items, including this great white shark, which was the second release in the Royal Australian Mint's Dangerous Animals. They did the redback spider in 2019. So this one was part of it. It was on a pre-sale. And the Fafner was supposed to be released before this one. However, with those shipping delays and just the logistics of all of that, this one got held back too, because what these companies do, if you order something with a pre-sale on it, you will not get your complete order until those are in. So you have to be cognizant of that. You might order something and throw in a few of these other coins, whether it's gold or silver, and expecting to get them a lot quicker than you can. Then those delays crop up. You might just order that one coin on pre-sale, and then all of a sudden the rest of your order is taking weeks to get there. So your money's tied up and you're caught into a situation where maybe now you can't purchase anything else. You're just waiting for that. So that is something that you really have to take into account with the Libertads. This kind of ties into the other point I was going to make, which was following the spot price and how much you might pay for something. So here is the 2020 Libertad. I know a lot of videos, including mine, have been showing these recently. This is probably like the third video I've shown in the last few weeks of this specific coin. It's been a hot item, and I ordered this back in September of 2020. We're in 2021 now, so I'm going to use the year. September of 2020. Of course, they weren't released until late November, early December of the same year. And so I had that one sitting there for, 2 months, and it wasn't the dealer's fault. I bought it on eBay. They had an expected shipping date, which was only like 2 weeks out from when I ordered it. It was expected to be shipped sometime in early to mid-October, but the Banco de Mexico took a longer time to send them out to their dealers. So I didn't get that as soon as I anticipated. And I ended up ordering it through a few more sources, and I got a few more of them because of that reason, but my money was tied up for a long time. Now, fortunately, it was only just the one coin, the one round, so it wasn't that big of a deal. However, if you're going to buy something, like another example, my money's been tied up with the new Eagles that are coming out. Here is a 2020 quarter ounce American Gold Eagle. You guys could all see here. There we go. Last iteration of that reverse. And so the 2021s, there we go. So the 2021s, of course, are going to be coming out with a Type 1 and a Type 2. The Type 1 will have that original reverse. Now, I did go ahead and did a pre-sale. I wanted to lock it in, and I tried to get a little too cute with the prices. I wanted to see where the market was going, and I picked the wrong time. I did this order when silver at the beginning of this week, when silver was a little over 27 and gold was just like at 1910 or so. And what do you know, today silver's down to 25 and gold is at 1845 or 1850. Ended up losing out on a 30 or 40 bucks, which doesn't seem like a lot, but that could have been another American Silver Eagle. But the whole point is, when you have your money tied up, you're trying to play the market. And I'm not a market speculator. I could just go off of historical trends. Recently, we've seen that the historical trends have not really been adding up. So it's been harder to gauge than it has been in previous years. But, I kind of missed on that one. Of course, it'll be great when I get the coins when they come in. But at this point, I'd much rather have gotten the better price and not been so cute with it. Now, it did work out with these 2021 Canadian MapleLeafs that I did order right before Thanksgiving. Or maybe it was right after on Black Friday. They had a pre-sale as well. And they had these for when spot was at 22 in the high 22s, maybe the low 23s. And so I was able to get a good price on it by the time I got it. It worked out. However, a lot of times, if you do get a little too cute with it, it's not going to work out. And so I just have two examples there of what could happen when you use a pre-sale and you try to predict the market. And you just always have to be aware of where your money is at all times, especially when you're purchasing something that's like in an investment class like precious metals are. And to do a little bit of a recap here, fear of missing out, FOMO, not the best thing in the world. Do not get swayed by that. A lot of times, unless you hear a lot of chatter about it, you're watching YouTube, you see that the Charlie Brown series Atmex limited release looks like a pretty hot item, and the rest of the Peanuts gang rounds that they have out there, and it's going to be a hot seller, then you might want to go with it, especially if the shipping date is not going to be that far off. So that is definitely something to consider with that fear of missing out. Like I said, the Mythosaur, it ended up, it's a great round, but I could have ordered it at a different time. I could have got it at a better price. I didn't have to get locked in that very moment, just thinking that it was going to sell out, not really ascertaining any type of strategy. So fear of missing out. Also, be wary of your money being tied up. Like I said, with the Fafner and this great white shark round or coin, I was in a situation where I just didn't get either of them for a long time, a lot longer than I expected. That money was tied up, and it turned out that neither of them were really that hot of rounds either, and I could have probably just waited till they were released in normal stock. So watch out for getting your money tied up. And of course, finally, when you're making that purchase, follow the market, follow the trends as best as you can now. I know it's been difficult back in 2020 and in here to 2021. It's almost like everything we know about macroeconomics is being kind of flipped on its head, but that's where we are right now. And just try to find that best price, especially if something's not going to be released for a long time, like the American Silver Eagle, and you see a price where a trend, and although I know we've had highs and lows, but if you go back to about September, so about 4 months or so, silver is averaged in the 25 range. So if you could find it at a price where you think is going to be kind of at the norm, at the aggregate, then you might want to just go with it and not get caught in a situation where you're paying too much. So just things to think about when it comes to buying your silver and your gold. Okay, and so that is going to wrap things up then for this video. And if you'd like to see similar videos about silver with a little bit of gold, then please subscribe and push that notification bell, smash that like button, and leave a comment. And until next time, this is the Stacking Cat.